Good morning. So working on Kinze 2.0 bean meters. I kind of knew how to take these apart. There is absolutely no videos on YouTube or anything that shows how to take these apart. I do not have a book on these meters. These meters were put in this planner for some reason, whatever. It's not a 65, it's not a 5 series, what I call a 5 series, 65 series, 05 series, whatever you want to call it, but 5 series Kinze planner. So I do have this meter tore apart, and it's given me a better perspective on what I'm doing, but I had to take drive tools, hammer, drive punch, drive chisel, drive screwdriver, drive tool. This one had a lot of crud in behind it, so I took it apart, and I'm glad I did now. What we're trying to do is, you got your lower brush, you got your upper brush, and then you got your brush holder. What we're trying to do is put these Milo shims in to plant Sudan grass and or maybe later on down the road some pearl millet. Not sure exactly how I'm gonna show this, but there's a locking tab right here on this number 1 bottom brush. Number 1 means you take it apart first or work with it first or whatever. But there's a tab here, and that's what locks it in. If I can find it, there we go. That's what locks it in to the actual meter. And you lift it up, and apparently you're supposed to turn this. Well, you turn the bottom brush and the top brush at the same time in those locking tabs. They got the slotted locking tabs. So it's locked right there, it's unlocked right there. Normal procedure on some of these type situations. But you don't do this just by hand with no tools. I drove on that son of a bitch pretty freaking hard to get it to rotate. Now, this one had a bunch of junk in behind it, and I don't know how to set up my camera to show maybe the next one I take apart, but what we're gonna do is, right here at this arrow, come on, focus. Right there at that arrow, there's a little locking tab where this Milo insert, Milo only, for a 2.0 brush meter, Kinze brush meter, goes in. So this is going to be really simple. When you take these apart, you just take this, you fit it. Whoop, I'm too far around. You slide that right into that tab, and then you turn it sideways, and it locks. Right there. These, now when you're doing, and this one's got it 1, this one's got it 2, it's got this slot, but they will snap. But that's how you get it in there. I'm glad I took this apart because now I know how to do it. Now I gotta go back and do 6-8 rows like this. Just slide them over. I just gotta slide them over to lock them up against the tab. Needs to touch tab on this Milo insert. So I have the bottom brush and the top brush inserted back in here. I had to take the Milo deal out because I couldn't get this right here to go past the brush with the Milo insert in it. Apparently I'm gonna have to keep all the Milo inserts after. If I have to clean all these out, I've got to put the Milo insert after I get all this locked back together. But you see now that the tabs are in the big slotted hole, and I've already tried to, with my fingers, is rotate that, so that's not going to happen. But you got some line up holes here that's got to line up. That hole and that hole's got to line up. But this little tab here will end up locking in place. Those arrows will match. So I'm going to have to take hammers and tools and try to rotate that and hold it at the same time. I don't know if this is a one-man job, but we're going to attempt it. I just won't get it videoed. So I did get it part way with just hands and fingers pushing into those slots. So now we're going to take crude tools and move it just that extra little bit to get it to lock. Place my screwdriver here at an angle on this tab. Whoop, it slipped. And did hit it about 3 or 4 times and finally got it to lock over there. It is a little tough. it's trying to go up against that brush. It's got that brush in a bind there. I'll have to pull that out. But all my alignment holes are lined back up. I could probably take a little punch or something and make sure they're lined up, or pull it a little bit, but this little tab right here did fall down in its groove and lock. Attempt to do this with one hand. Now we take this Milo. We got to come around. You can't get any of the brush. This is a bitch with a used brush. Can't have any of the brush inside of that. So see right here, I'm lined up with that little tab, and you can drop that down in there. Come on. Man, this is a bitch with an old brush. I sure as long as I put new brushes in it, they're freaking just got 1,000 acres on them. Anyway, you get the idea. I'm gonna have to not video this and get these to fall down in there like that. But that's the key is that I found on another one, that you do not want to get any of that brush in there. Then it kind of falls into place. But then I'm going to rotate this sideways, and maybe I'll show that in the video when I get it in there where it needs to be, that you can rotate it sideways and lock it then. So it just took 2 hands to do it, to get the brush out of the way. But now, since that little tab's lined up with the arrow, that's just its fall in position. Now we can slide this sideways like that. Lock that one. Whoop, I didn't get the video, but that one there had to be pushed down. It didn't lock in. And then that one locked in. I didn't have it right either, but got it to lock in. Damn it, I didn't get a video of it either. So that one wasn't locked in, I had to push it down. So now the Milo is locked in. And now we just take our 2.0 60 cell sorghum meter. Should be able to do this with one hand and a knee. Maybe. And just lock that in. And now we're set for Milo / sorghum. Sudan grass. Whatever. Not the easiest process by no means, but they are pretty slick. I still think I could take an old style meter with screws apart faster and easier than those. And those are supposed to be toolless meters. See you later. So after you have this thing all cleaned out and all the brushes taken out of it, these have an order supposedly to put back in. I thought maybe it was an order of how they take apart, but it's how they go back together. So this one, of course, goes in here first. And then you put your brush in the proper place that it's supposed to be, rotated around here into its stop position, like so. It comes down against this plastic piece here, which you can't see it for the black and blue brush. Right there where my finger's at, there's a stop for that brush to come around and stop right there against that plastic piece. And then you put your top piece in. I don't know why the number 2 piece, which is right here, has a 2 on it, because you would really have to put it in first. If you take this apart correctly, I don't see a 2 on it. I thought there was a 2 on it. I'm off shot, ain't I? Maybe there's not a 2 on it. There's a piece in here that you can replace, that this comes up against when it's done. This is one, then you put your brush in, and you put this top brush holder in. Actually, you gotta put it in here like this. It's a real pain in the ass with a second hand, but because you get the brush in behind struggling. Anyway, you get the picture. I didn't have that rotated enough. I had it rotated too much already. And that all fits in there like that. And I got one of them a while ago. I just didn't have it completely locked by hand. They're getting easier. Gotta go.